Hi everyone, cancer, kidneys, and bones on tap. Let's get to it. First up are cancer and the M protein. My M protein serum concentrations taken at 1 year after the stem cell transplant are virtually identical to the results taken at 9 months and 6 months after the stem cell transplant. What does that mean? My cancer is no longer decreasing, but has reached a baseline level of persistent residual disease between 0.7 and 0.8 grams per deciliter. This is our first baseline of remission. I would love to have seen that cancer continue to fall off into oblivion. That's not what we got. We just have to accept that. All right, now my oncologist said that the decrease we were seeing after the stem cell transplant in the first 6 months was due to lingering effects from that high dose chemo as part of that transplant process. I was just surprised that it could have those long lasting effects, but apparently it can. Now our hope is that the cancer just remains happy at this baseline level of remission between 0.7 and 0.8 grams per deciliter for as long as possible before relapse occurs. Now we're not alone in the fight to keep this cancer in remission here. We have that 10 milligram maintenance therapy of Revlimid. Sole purpose of that Revlimid is to hold that cancer at the baseline level that we've established. All right, on to the kidneys. For a lot of you, this is review, but my kidneys have suffered permanent damage from the myeloma. I'm in stage 3A chronic kidney disease, which means my kidneys are functioning at 50% capacity. We'll have to keep an eye on the creatinine. The last result showed an uptick, and we don't want our kidneys getting any worse. Right now, the kidneys are stable. Last up are the bones, my poor bones. I was hoping this bone survey would show the bones are all pristine and remodeling nicely compared to bone surveys in the past at 6 months and earlier, but that's just not the case. The notes from the radiologist read like a horror story. It's that bad. There are lytic lesions from my head down to my knee and out to my elbows. It's a complete disaster. I really don't know how my skeleton can hold myself upright and I don't collapse like a pancake or like a flounder with just 2 eyes sticking out of the top. It sounds that bad to me. The only silver lining I can find here is that at least there are no new fractures, or maybe it's just that there's so much damage in there that the radiologist can't see any new ones. I'm just kidding. But I'm happy to hear this because that means all this training, this running, this walking, and this swimming isn't causing any further damage to my poor bones. And there is some manifestation of all these bone problems. I have to believe now that I am going to have chronic lower back pain. It takes me a long time in the morning to work it out, stretch it out. It kind of goes away during the day, but I can still feel it. That's something I have to deal with, besides the fact that I'm still always going to be 3 inches shorter because of all those compression fractures in the spine. We've come to the summary here, and that's really that everything is stable. So I'd love to have comments or hear from my MM warrior comrades out there about their M proteins, where they were after stem cell transplant, how long they sustained their remission relative to what stage disease they were diagnosed at, 1, 2, or 3. I know there's a lot of factors involved between patients and variables, but it'd still be nice to have an idea what might be lying ahead for me. Questions, comments below from everybody, please. Love to hear them, try to answer them. I'll find out the answer if I don't know it. Cheer, ciao, peace, stay safe.